So we're here with Dane. This is a much long-awaited
Yes, it is.
meeting. It's how many years has it been?
Oh, well, when did you start your channel?
I think it's about three and a half years.
Because I was there in the beginning. I
Yeah.
mean, you, when I subbed up, there were less than 100 there.
Well, so to give you all some context, Dane, Mr. Zelos, Celine Driver, so many monikers, but Mr. Zelos is the one that's hung, pertinent on him. It's like put on him. So
Yeah, we want to make that clear.
yeah,
Right up front. I did. Um, I was given the nickname Mr. Zelos by somebody else. I can't even remember who. Mr. Zelos for me is always going to be El Tang. He is Mr. Zelos, obviously, but somebody hung that on me, and I didn't ask for it. I didn't adopt it. It was given to me, and I said, "Okay, I will play the role you will have me play." And I guess with a Zelos collection approaching 80 at this point,
80.
and between me and my late father, probably have owned well over 120 Zelos overall.
So can I say that you have almost every one of the
I
models?
think I've owned every Zelos model between me and my father. I think the only one that I'm missing having owned, and I'm actually hunting for right now, is an Avant. Uh, I, I've got every other one. I've got a lot of the old school ones. I've got a lot of the modern ones. I've had some ones that, believe it or not, I have owned some Zelos that I didn't particularly want to keep, and I sold them, but I owned them.
Yeah, that's the
Like
part of the game.
the black tip and the Horizon come to mind. Great watches, well designed, great on the wrist. The design didn't appeal to me personally, so I didn't keep them in the collection. Mm.
Those things happen. I mean, like I, for example, my channel started booming with the Horizon when I reviewed the Horizon from Elchin. Elchin, I owe a great deal
Mhm.
because he really trusted or had faith in the channel that when I review stuff that it would come out at the very least serviceable.
Mhm.
And
I would say more than serviceable, yeah.
yeah, and then and he tried to really send his to me sending watches from outside anywhere down to Aruba is a big deal already. And Zelos was
I
one, if
know.
not the first micro brand that actually took a chance on my channel. Which is,
I've sent some watches to you.
yeah,
It's not terrible. I mean, it's not like shipping to say Brazil. Shout out to anybody in Brazil, but your shipping
it gets there.
your shipping people are a little bit bad. But yeah, shipping in Aruba is just not cheap. That's all.
Yeah, and yeah,
That takes
that's
a
true.
while.
That is true. And then and also the customs are, I guess, not that accommodating. That's putting it lightly. But
You should try shipping to Russia.
oh, I we actually tried.
I succeeded once. That was enough.
We actually tried, and like I think by the third shipping courier that said no to us, okay, we're not gonna do that anymore. But also, as a little bit of context, in the past 3.5 years, I've also had a career change. So now I'm in the jewelry watch business, actually, instead of the retail business before.
Yeah.
And ever since moving to that kind of career, I've experienced a lot more about, yeah, for example, shipping watches, curating them, curating jewelry also, and getting to know a lot of the suppliers as well. I even know some of the costs of not just the micro brands because we did dabble in them, and also of high end brands, which is what you're going. I assume you. I haven't seen any of these watches. Just another point of context for everyone watching. I've not seen any of these watches that Dane had shown, except for one, but we're not going to show that. Maybe in the future, one day. That one is very
Probably
good.
not. No.
He's adamant that we're not gonna show that watch. Okay,
That watch. Well, I might show it on my channel
in your
someday,
channel, yeah.
but
So
I have to be.
really careful.
I have to also beef up security a little bit.
There you go. There you go. So one day that will happen, and probably in this channel. Okay,
Yeah.
but none of these watches I haven't seen yet, except for that one because that one I actually brought.
Yeah. Well,
And
that one has been reviewed on my channel, and my mom stole it. So I was given the opportunity to get one for myself, and there's a specific connection to that watch with my family and the city of Venice, eh, Venice, Italy, not Venice, Florida. Although Venice, Florida, nice place. I live near there, but there's a special connection to the Veneto and my family. We'll go over that in this video,
this
but
interview,
that's
yeah.
later.
Right. So let's start with, I guess,
Zelos.
the first one. Yeah, the Zelos ones.
Okay, I have them in of course, a Zelo roll. I brought three, um, three Zelos that mean quite a bit. Let's see, we've got.
That's one.
How should I position?
Yeah, you can put it like that because we're going to
Yes.
shoot it anyway. Like afterwards, some beauty shots.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are
incredibly light.
It's like titanium. We'll go over that one in a minute.
Exactly.
We'll start with that one. Why not? Well, we'll start with this one. People know from my channel that I oh, here you play with it.
Yeah.
The people know from my channel that my favorite line from Zelos is the ZX line. It's an older line, chronograph, and I've made it a point to acquire one example from every Zelos ZX model, Z1 through Z8, ZX1 through ZX8, and I do have them. But this one was particularly special. This one was not actually advertised on Zelos's website, although it was offered for sale to the public.
Oh.
This is the ZX skeleton. There's only 5.
Wow.
And Elshin owns one. At least I think he does, or he still does. So there's only 4 out there in the wild, and I picked this up from the previous owner.
That's a chunky boy.
Yeah, the ZX is a very chunky watch. It's a Value 770, 7750. They also make a version of the Mecha Quartz. I had 3 Mecha Quartz, and the rest are automatics. So the opportunity came to me to get a hold of this watch, and of course, I can't pass that up. In addition to the 8 watches plus the skeleton, I also have one of the 2 prototypes that exists, and that one has actually got a day and date window on it, which didn't make it to production. This one has a date complication at the 3 o'clock, which is unique to.
And then he made a pointer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's unique to the skeleton. I also own a one-off that Elshin made for himself with a dial. The dial material is from a Supermarine Spitfire World War II aircraft.
Yeah, that was the one that I was following you on Facebook on when you were like looking for that.
And I bought it from him. I nagged him for like 3 months because he was saying that he probably would sell, and he'd sell, and I would keep saying that one's mine.
But he did some work on this, even on the rotor. There's a bridge here. The skeleton is this naturally not naturally. Is this skeletonized like this with these kinds of movements? I don't think so.
I'm not really sure. I think he's done some extra work.
Yeah.
To make because he's got an exhibition case back on there, so you obviously want to decorate the movement.
Yeah. I mean, like he not only carved out the rotor here, he had that bridge that connects the rotor skeletonized as well. I don't think I've seen the 7750 like that.
No, you haven't. No.
So
Yeah, Elshin did some extra work on these
that's
watches.
pretty cool.
So I am missing. I also have one of the two lines from the Hong Kong um, boutique edition. I got one in titanium.
Hong Kong boutique. I don't even know
There,
that
there,
he has a whole Hong or
there,
Hong Kong
there is a
boutique.
Hong Kong boutique. The name
Is it
escapes me.
serious watches? Is that the
No, I
boutique?
don't think it's Serious Watch. It's another company. Somebody will put it in the comments what I'm forgetting. And they made some specifically for that boutique in titanium and bronze. I have the titanium, I'm hunting the bronze. And when I get the bronze, and I will get one, that will mean I have one of every ZX offered for sale.
But I don't.
And I don't think anyone else in the world is sick enough to do that except me. So,
Well, you're Mr. Zelos after all.
yeah. And, but good segue into Mr. Zelos, given to me, not taken, had to have a Mirage. I, at the time in 2019 when the Mirage came out, the Tourbillon Mirage, my finances were not such that I had the ability to buy one. And besides, they sold out in like 2 minutes. I mean, they were.
Yeah, and that's typical Zelos though. So.
Yeah. And I regretted that, but I thought I figured I could chase one later, but they don't come up for sale that often. I think before I bought mine from its original owner, only one had come up for sale in 4 or 5 years. And Elsher wasn't going to sell his. I mean, he wore his at his wedding, for God's sake. He's not getting rid of that. He'd have to get rid of his wife first. And I do not wish that on you, Elshin. God bless you. But a gentleman named Ken, he goes by Ken Don on the Facebook group. He, I think I'm allowed to tell the story. I actually told the story on my channel. He and his wife have decided to. Huh?
Can I wind it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that way. He and his wife decided to start a family, and they were trying to raise money. And what better way to raise money than sell off watches, right?
Of course.
So he knew I was in the market for one of these, and he contacted me. Now he works in Australia, and I had actually bought another watch from him, and it took 6 weeks to get it, and it was a living hell. So we decided that because he was scheduled to come back to the States at some point, that we would wait and I would pay for the watch when he got back to the States. And it all worked out, obviously. And now I have one of the 10 Mirage Tourbillons. And only 2 of them were done in the yellow Damascus. So this is one of 2.
One of 2.
And this is actually one of 1 because, as we know, all Damascus watches are unique.
Gotta try this on.
Go ahead.
This is. Yeah. I'm almost, always skeptical with non-Swiss tourbillons, but
this is a Swiss tourbillon.
There you go.
This is a Le Jour Perret tourbillon. This is the real deal.
This is the real deal. It's not that. I mean, non-Swiss are not real deals.
Now that's not a Zelos buckle.
That's what I was gonna say.
Ken had that made and then was given permission by Elshin to put the branding on it. So that is a Damascus, a titanium Damascus heat-treated buckle. So that's unique to this watch. He also had a strap made for it by I forgot who the strap was, and it was beautiful strap, very really fancy soft leather, but it was too big.
Okay. So you had that strap outside.
I have that strap. It's at home. I put it on the Zelos. I think this is the Zelos FKM.
You see, that's the value of straps and buckles. That's why I always feature them in my channel, because it completely changes the personality.
There aren't going to be a lot of strap. There'll be no strap changing special effects here. For not on this video.
But this is great. I mean,
Yeah,
you could see the bridges are not decorated, but they are not your usual just bare steel bridges that
yeah,
you would see. And of course, for something with a tourbillon on it, you have to have something special,
yeah.
even
And
for
the
the.
nice thing about this watch is it could be worn daily. I mean, it is dead nuts accurate, if I may use that term. It is beautiful to wear. I mean, I thought one day, just for the hell of it, for an hour, I wore it backwards. Just
You wore it
I wore
backwards.
it backwards just to look at the movement. I mean, show the movement
Yeah,
from the back. I
from
mean,
the back right
it's
here. That's
beautiful.
the. It's beautiful. I mean, any
And
which way you turn it,
yeah,
it's like beautiful.
there's no bad angle on this watch. And the tourbillon, just watch it. This is only my this is I have three tourbillons. One of them is one of those Chinese tourbillons from a Cello.
Mhm. I'm not sure.
I can't pronounce it.
Or zero, zero. No,
I
maybe
think
not.
it's on my channel. Celine Driver.
Yeah,
All
Celine
my
Driver.
video, all these watches will
He
be
has
on.
over 1,000 videos, guys.
Yeah,
Like
like,
this.
share, subscribe. Trying to get to 3,000.
Yeah, almost there. Almost there.
Getting close.
Very
Anyway,
close.
and the other one is a watch I'm not going to mention, but it is a tourbillon of a sort, which I inherited from my father. My father is going to be a big point of discussion in this video, so strap in. Anyway,
Very good.
this is the crown jewel
Of
of
the Zelos.
my Zelos collection.
It's amazing.
Um,
And you have to talk about how he gets these stripes and these patterns on the case.
well, I don't know how. I mean, the case is
It's titanium
titanium Damascus.
Damascus.
Now, Damascus, for those that don't know, is a metal forming technique that you basically fold the metal over and over again, hundreds and hundreds or even thousands of times, and you end up with these striations and these patterns in the metal, and then you obviously you cut the case from the block of Damascus metal.
Correct.
And so each Damascus watch or each Damascus knife or each Damascus sword or whatever, it may be like in this case, this watch is one of two, but the pattern is unique to that watch. If I find out who owns the other yellow one and I got them together,
You might even see the.
you would see the different, not only the difference in the pattern, but in this case, because it's heat treated, I think it's to heat treated to somewhere between 400 and
Yes.
500
It
degrees
has to be
Celsius.
different because you could see
You get the color.
the color getting either. I think it's supposed to be getting bluer and then
Yeah,
oranger, or maybe the other way around.
it gets more blue as you
Or
heat it
more blue. Okay, there you
because we have this watch that
go.
we'll talk about.
Exactly.
Now, you notice that in this watch, if you hit it with the right light on this side,
Yeah,
especially,
there.
it turns
It's
purple.
purple. Yeah, which is amazing when you
Yeah,
look at it in person. I mean, sometimes you can't see that on video,
yep.
but here
And
in
you can
person
see it on the buckle
on the
very
buckle.
nicely.
Yeah. But you also see the difference. The difference between
Yeah.
the buckle and the actual case? There is
Yeah.
still
Now you see the case has more horizontal, vertical lines, whereas the buckle is horizontal.
Yeah, and from what I understood, it's Elshin himself.
He's heat treated
He's
them
the
himself.
one heat treating these. So
Yeah.
that's why I love Zelos in the first place, because this is exactly what you get from the value of the watch. Not really just the value proposition in money or in actual monetary value, but you're actually handling something that has direct contact with its creator, with its founder itself.
And the founder and you know the Mr. Zelos is very active in the community, and he will talk to anybody.
Yeah. Actually, he's
Every
quite busy. We invited him to our community. He said, you know what? I have I have my hands full already. So so
one of my goals that I have, there are some watch folks that I want to meet at some point. Random Rob was one of them.
but you met, right?
I've met Random Rob several times. You were one. I wanted to meet you for a long
It's an
time.
honor.
And no, the honor is mine. I want to meet Elshin.
You know, at this point, I thought you already met him.
I wish I had. But if he ever shows, I don't care where he shows up in the States, but he shows up, I'm going to try and get there. I want to meet TGV from Urban Gentry.
Oh, he's hard to get though.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
sometime. And I want to meet Mark from Long Island Watch.
Mark is a lot easier to get.
Yeah, because Mark and his watch and learn videos
Oh, they're
were,
amazing.
were taught me a lot.
They're my entry points too. It's Random
Yeah.
Rob, TGV, and Mark. Those are the three ones.
And I wouldn't mind meeting Federico at some point.
Oh, Federico too. So.
And there are a couple of guys from dealers that I deal with consistently. Like I've already met the crew at Exquisite Timepieces down in Naples, Florida. Shout out to my boy Tyler. I love that guy. I deal with him constantly. And the guys there, they treated both me and my father very well. Later this year, I'm going to go to Boston. I'm going to get to meet the crew at the European Watch Company, who I have an almost 10-year relationship with at this point. And I'd like to meet Tim Masso and Bill Comfort from
Bill Comfort.
Yeah, Bill Comfort is my particular guy that I have my particular contact at the place formerly known as Watchbox, now 1916.
Yeah, it's kind of. I still feel weird.
Well, they want to call it 1916. I'll call it 1960. But I always think Watchbox rather than translate.
It's always been Watchbox to me as well.
Anyway, the third Zelos that I brought with me is this guy's little brother, if you will. Also a Swiss movement, manual wine Swiss movement. Also Le Jus Poré, but not a tourbillon. But this is the Mirage 2 or the Mirage 8-day. It has an 8-day power reserve from twin barrels. As you can see, there are twin barrels. And this one is in the blue titanium Damascus or Timascus. Or actually, in this case, it's Zircti because there's zirconium in there too, which is different from the older Damascus watches. Two of which I'm chasing now, but good luck. Good luck to me.
Well, you'll eventually get them, it seems, because most of the time you get these.
Well, you have to have patience and perseverance and persistence. But this is one of three Mirage 2s that I have. I have the Azure, and I had the Tantalum.
Oh, yeah,
but this one was the first one I purchased, and this one is I think this is one of 25 or 20, or maybe 30.
You can see it here, right?
Well, you might.
Typically, you would.
My eyesight is bad. My handwriting's bad.
Oh no, he didn't put in these. Oh yeah, it is. There you go. One number 4. Well, maybe I should have not said. But this is 1 of 50. 1 of 50.
Okay, it's 50. Okay.
1 of 50.
I thought it was lower than that, but
it seems like 150.
I might be thinking of another one of my Damascus, titanium Damascus.
It's still rare though. I mean, like I think this is the one that he actually offered to me because I wanted to review one, but then I think he said no, I don't have anything for review, but I can offer you one when it comes back if you want to get one.
Yeah,
because I did ask.
I think he told me that this one was supposed to go to you for review, and then you were supposed to send it to me.
But then
that didn't happen.
I don't even. I don't think that I was able to review any of these.
Yeah. Now this one obviously has a non Damascus buckle, but
it's still good.
Yeah, it's still good. And this one is heat treated to a much higher temperature than the yellow one. I think it goes to about 800, 900 degrees C. And you've got to be careful when you heat treat these to that temperature because, like scallops, you have a very short window between perfectly cooked and burnt. If you take one of these Damascus watches too far, you'll literally burn it.
And then there's.
Then you've ruined the case. So the failure rate is fairly high. So you want to be careful with
Exactly. I mean, I think that was the problem with one of the ones that I bought from him because there was this special edition. I think it was the swordfish with a Damascus bezel.
Oh yeah, I remember. I have one of those
Yeah, and those were,
with the blue meteorite dial.
yeah, the blue meteorite. Okay, I think the problem there was the blue meteorite itself, not
Yeah,
the actual
I
glass.
actually bought the one I have. The first time I met Random Rob, he actually came to my house, and I showed him my collection, and we went and had lunch and everything. And he was wearing that watch, and I said, "You're not leaving
With
with
that
that
watch on.
watch." And I bought it right off his wrist, and then a few days later, he shipped me the box and paper, well, paper
Yeah,
plate.
I think that was the only one that I bought from Elshin
Yeah,
out
that
of a
one was
whim.
a kind of a quote unquote mistake.
Yeah, but I love that because
Yeah,
I know that he wanted a little bit more shine and pop on that
yeah,
blue, but it turned out to be muted, the meteorite.
yeah,
But the rest of the thing was amazing, and
yeah.
the the bezel itself,
That
the
was
heat
his
treat
first
bezel.
attempt to heat treat a bezel.
Yeah, and I love that.
It came out. It came
It
out
came out
just fine.
really fine.
He said though that the failure rate was fairly, well, not significant is probably the wrong word, but there were enough failures that he didn't want to continue it.
Yeah. So I guess those are the risks and
Yeah.
yeah, the
Well,
rewards.
risk reward.
Yeah.
I like this watch. It's very wearable. Again, the wonderful thing about Zelos. I mean, there are so many, and I sound like the ultimate Zeros fanboy. And if you call me that, I will take that badge proudly. I mean, every Zelos watch that he's produced, whether it's a $300 swordfish or it's this over 5-figure um, Mirage Tourbillon, they're all very wearable. They're all comfortable. They're all durable. I mean, Lejeune Perret makes great
Great
movements.
movements. Yeah.
They're not movements that are delicate flowers.
I know.
And
And
believe me, I have my experience with the delicate flowers. Go see my video of my rant about movement snobs, and I go into the delicateness of some of these exotic movements that
we
people
actually kind of
scream about.
we actually kind of dealt with that recently because one of the Swiss calibers that we wanted to source for our brand was the Juperin. But when we tried, well, or at least my business partner tried, there's a wait list of about 90, or not 90, I mean 9 months.
Yeah,
About 9 months just for the wait list for those movements. And we're not ordering 5 or 10. We're all ordering for the whole batch for the collection.
hmm.
So that kind of turned him off because yeah, I mean like we can't wait that long, especially when we're launching a brand.
Yeah.
But
And
then good,
and Lejeune Perret in the Swiss movement community makes a very durable
yeah,
movement. I mean, compared to and no shade on Solida, but Solida made some movements that they had to revise fairly significantly. The SW200, we
mm-hmm.
all know
Yeah,
about the
for the
SW,
ATA and
yeah, the SW200 debacle with the winding mechanism
mm-hmm.
that would all of a sudden turn to stone
Mm-hmm.
and just lock up on you. Now, the Dash 1 variety fixed that. But I mean, for a while there, if you had an SW200, and I have several SW200 watches, I don't wind them unless I'm going to wear them. If I'm not wearing them, they're either on a winder or they're dormant in a watch case because it's like the old 6.4 diesel Power Stroke from Ford. You know that engine is going to bite you and die at some point. You know an SW200 is going to
Do that.
die and it's going to bite you at some point, and you're going to have to replace the whole bloody thing. You just know it, so you treat them delicately, and you damn sure don't go swimming with them.
So while we're in the Zelos, before we transition to the other launches,
Okay.
what kind of future do you want to see from Zelos from here on?
Well, I've been nagging. It's the wrong word, but it's not the right word, but it's not the wrong word. I've been on Elshin to do. I mean, he did this. This one is well over $10,000. So he has the and when he wants to the desire to do it. I want him to do a precious metal case.
Oh, he hasn't done it.
No, I mean he's done steel,
Even
titanium.
white gold would have been nice.
Yeah, he's done steel. He's done titanium. He's done bronze, and he's done some exotic. I mean, tantalum.
Which is
And
interesting.
I own multiple tantalum. I'm still hunting the one I don't have, which is a swordfish. Only 5. A long slug. But so he's done all those. I want to see one of. It doesn't have to be platinum, but I want to see a white gold one.
Yeah, that's kind
Or
of weird because I always have the impression that tantalum's even harder to source than gold.
it may be hard to source, but it's cheaper. I mean, if
Mm.
you did this watch, this Mirage in white gold, it would double the price.
Okay.
Well, maybe not double, but I mean, it would kick the price up well over $15,000. I mean, if you did a swordfish and swordfishes, yeah, let's say swordfishes. Those are sub $500 watches, or sub $750 watches. If you put that same watch into a 42 millimeter white gold, it would be a couple of $1,000s. But then again, he's done titanium Damascus swordfish that went for $1,500 or $1,600 or so.
And I think it's making precious metal Zelos is quite within reach. I mean, especially with the resource that he has.
And I would love to see him do a precious metal case. I would love to see him do. I know there's complications with import problems and stuff, but I would love to see some more, um, exotic straps, alligator, ostrich, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But it has to come with a really nice dress variant of what, because most of his stuff is tool watches.
Yeah, and you know what else would be, I think, kind of cool, but maybe a little out there, an any digi.
Oh wow, yeah, that is out there for his style.
I would think like a dive watch, like the Arnie's, the Seiko Arnie's, a dive watch, analog face, but with a little digital window in there where you could do.
I'd never expected you suggesting that. I mean,
I actually have owned several of the modern. Well, I actually own one of the older Arnie's too. But I like them. I just sold them off to fund other purchases. But I like the Anti-Digi look. I have a couple of G-Shocks right now. Didn't bring them, but I have.
I brought mine.
Of course you did. You are Mr. G-Shock.
Well, that's a moniker that's hung on me, but I don't.
I hung it on. I hung.
At least here, I could reference back to whoever hung it.
I hung 2 monikers on him, Mr. G-Shock and Mr. Venezianico.
Look at that! I just wanted to showcase how chunky this.
The ZX are some of the chunkiest watches.
That's as chunkiest deal. Hey, but if my 6.25-inch wrist can wear a G-Shock, you can wear one of these.
Yeah.